optimization guide, and then Agnes, managing editor of special projects.
So I'm just going to talk a little bit about some ways that you can maximize some of the marketing efforts that you're already doing, whether it's through SEO or through some of the social media, Facebook and Twitter that Travis talked about. And I'll touch a little bit upon your KISS listing as well, and ways that for many of the schools that do list with us, some of the advancements and changes that we've made, if you're not making or taking advantage of that, some simple things that will take 10 minutes of your time, and will make sure that your profile is always up to date. So it's the question again, what's new, what works? There's all this hype about social media, and we do spend a lot of time kind of going into it. Questions, is print dead? Is online banner advertising dead? What actually does work? There is a study that was conducted that 67% of online searches are actually initiated from an offline campaign. So that's TV, radio, print. So if you're, we are fully going into social media. We've got Travis and strongly believe in that. But we do very much strongly believe in an integrated campaign as well, because you need to create that awareness about the school before they're going to go on and search for you. So online is fantastic if they know what they're looking for, but if they don't know what they're looking for, then how are you going to reach them? 44% of people in Canada do belong to social networks, so we do think that it is an area that schools should be involved in and should be at. And then there's also retailers that are on Facebook or have microblogs have found that has increased their customer satisfaction and their relationship, and they've kept customers or potential parents or clients for longer. So that could increase your retention rates if you're connecting with your students or your parent communities on a daily basis through Facebook or through other mediums. You're essentially building or extending your community, and you're going to those spaces where they already are. So what we want to do is say, okay, if you're spending the time on Facebook, you're spending the time on Twitter, you're updating your website, now what can you do with all this information? How can we help you, or what can you do to show more and more parents what you're doing, to make sure that all that time and that effort that you're putting in is being seen and you're getting benefits from it. So this is just an example of our school profile on our website. This is Dragon Academy. What we've done is, this last year we've added social networks. So if you have Facebook, if you have Twitter, they are going to show up. You just have to type in, copy your link, and they'll show up here. So they can click and automatically go to your Twitter page or your Facebook page, YouTube, LinkedIn, any other social networks you have. We've also pulled over on this side an actual feed of Twitter. So that can also be done if you have a Twitter account. If you go to the bottom to the tools section, you can customize that. You can make it whatever size, whatever color you want, and you can post that on your website. You can provide that to other websites to post on theirs. So that's an easy way to kind of spread what you're doing. And once you're posting it onto Twitter, you can have it show up here. You can have it show up on your site. You can have it show up on other websites as well. Another area is the blog. So if you have a blog at your school, or if your site has an RSS feed, whether it's a news feed or any events or anything that you're posting, we can pull that feed into your profile. So as soon as you're updating on your site, whoever's doing the web updates, it'll automatically get posted here. At which point, automatically, again, because we're receiving the traffic, we could drive some more of that traffic to your site, and you're also showing that your content's fresh. The other sections of the site, which have been around for a while, are the school stories and the photo galleries. One thing about the school stories is we have a keyword search on our website. So if someone types in, ADHD schools or schools with good sports programs, and you write a story about that, or you highlight that program in your school stories, then you're going to come up in the search results. So we do encourage that you make use of those school stories, because that's essentially like adding a page to your website, and you can add as many as you like. What it does is basically, again, give you that content that Jim was talking about. So when someone's searching whether in Google or when they're searching just on our site, which actually uses a Google search tool, then you're going to have more opportunity to come up. This, just back to the blog here, this blog actually, Gab actually blogs on our website. So he's a student at the school who writes book reviews, he talks about movies that he likes, and that just kind of gives a different perspective to parents. So if you don't have a blog, but you have a student or a teacher or somebody at the school that's interested in writing on a regular basis, it could be once every month, it could be once every 2 weeks, then that's available. We can set up an account for you, and you're free to go, essentially. And again, you have privacy. You can allow the student to post directly, or you could have an approval process in place if you want to approve the content that's going up there. Friend feed, if you don't have an RSS feed from your site, this is something that you could use. This is a site that you just open up an account and you could pull if you do have an RSS feed from your site, you can pull that in. You could also just pull in Facebook, Twitter, any blogs, any feeds into it. So it's almost a combination of all the feeds that you're having. And so that if you wanted to set up one of those, you could do that and provide us with that, and that could feed onto the profile on our website. So it would be basically whatever is most recent. So you have a Facebook post, then you have a Twitter, then you have a news item or an events posting at your school. So it's sort of, and that's all automatically done as well. So you only have to do it once, and then you're pushing that information further out to as many possible sources.